This is some nettle thistle on my property. All you do is make a tea out of this. It's the most nutritious tea you can find. It has all the minerals and vitamins in it, and it's good for you. Maintain your whole body systems. That's what we're gonna talk about, and some other things as well. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the 10 o'clock scholar, and it's hitting toward that 10 o'clock hour, and we're gonna talk about a few things that's on my mind. How's everybody out there? You know, this is the apocalypse we're living through, and you have to be very discerning of where you get your information from because nobody wants to tell you the truth. All the good news, you got to go to the dark web or you got to go to other avenues outside of YouTube to find it. YouTube has a policy against news that can excite the public. See, the point is this. If you knew something had a cycle every million so years, it flows through the universe every 250 million years, a device that keeps the universe in balance, meaning that as the planet is not vibrating as it should, adjustments has to be made for that planet because everything has to be in alignment, in order. Why wouldn't you know about that? Well, if you knew that something was coming to this earth that was not of this earth, it would cause panic. What do you mean cause panic? It would cause the stock market to fall. People have no faith in tomorrow. They don't know if they're going to live or die. So they just start living as if they're living their last day. They'll start going to do criminal things. Yeah, because hey, this is the end, man. This is the end. I'm gonna do all the living I can for income. That's the crazy thinking. So that's why no one is told. Not saying that's the end. It is the end for those who don't make adjustments. In other words, if you're not vibrating the way you should be, I don't know what to tell you. You need to take charge of your health and don't give that great responsibility to another person who practice on you. I mean, you do, it's your body. You say, do what you want to do. It's your thing, baby. I'm just here making comments. I'm not a doctor. Tell you what to do. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. And it's odd how in our community, okay, the indigenous community, we are subject to the same things that are caused by the dominant community. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. In the 1960s, after the community was slowly dismantled under the so-called civil rights program, which was a code name for destroy your community and integrate with white people. And because your community's always been a threat because you're so prosperous when you come together, you're always a threat. This happened before in the 20s. Your community was thriving. You was the most prosperous class in America because you had strong communities. So they didn't know what to do with that. They said, well, hey, we bomb other countries who are a threat to us. They're no different. Yeah, they waged war against us on our own land. Don't believe me? Go and do the research. The Red Summer 1920s. They actually dropped bombs on us. That's what the song's about. They dropped the bomb on me. So the communities are destroyed. We always trying to rebuild our communities, but so they had to come with another idea to say, hey, why don't we just prevent the communities altogether? Let's say we're going to give them civil rights, voting rights, urban renewal, but everything we're doing is to move them outside their communities into our communities. That way we have total control. Okay? So, not having our communities, we couldn't hide ourselves. You know, that's what a community is for, to give your people jobs. Duh. You're not supposed to be getting jobs outside your community. But we had no community, so there was no jobs. So now you got to go get jobs outside of your community. You see, that's the plan. So this caused a lot of distress in the home between families. They was made to compete with each other. The man and the woman was made to compete with each other. And in this competition, they told the woman, the government would help you, but he has to not have no, he should not be living in your home. What? Yes, yes. We're going to be your husband. Like, woman, you don't need him. You don't need that no good trifling. We're going to take care of you. Forget him. And because of economic pressures, a lot of y'all says, well, I don't want to throw my man to the curb, but I got to feed these children. And y'all won't give him a job because there's no jobs because y'all force us out of our communities. So I'm kind of have to make a hard decision. So she said, look, baby, I'm gonna do this. They say you can't live here, but you keep coming to see me. I'm just trying to do this for you and us and the children. He said, okay, baby, do what you got to do. All right, so then uh, things progress and the communities did what they had to do. Then he saw this black man wasn't coming to them fast enough to work for them. So he said, what you, in other words, he be on the street looking for work. He said, why you not working? He said, I'm looking for work. He said, no, why you not working? He said, I don't have a job. He said, you don't have a job? Oh, well, that's a criminal offense. So he's sent to jail for loitering because he don't have a job. Because he put out his community where he hired himself, and the communities he's forced to go to will not give him a job. But that's his crime for not having a job. Okay? And so they said, why are y'all young men out here not working? He said, well, we used to have skills we learned in school, but you took the skills out of the schools, plumbing, electricity, we were learning in school. But you took those out of the schools. And you say, well, why don't you get a trade? Well, we can't get a trade because you took the trade schools out of our schools. So it's like shooting a man and say, what you doing walking around with a bullet? Or stabbing a man and saying, why you got that knife sticking in your back? Hey, you stabbed me, remember? So these are extreme examples, but I just want you to see the picture of what's really going on. And the black church was a big thing back then. There was a lot of movement started with the church. The church was in any military operation, you have CP, command post. The church was a command post. A lot of things started from the church. The church was the pinpoint of the community. It helped people, housed people, took care of people, as a community should. So President Johnson in '69 looked at that and said, so those churches are helping the community, and we don't want that. We're trying to destroy the community. Well, what can we do? Them churches all up in there. He said, I tell you what, we're gonna make a law that is gonna be against government policy for any religious institution to support political parties. They call it Class 1-3A, C3. From now on, if a church or any public institution, because you're public now, okay, we're making you a part of the government so we can control you. If you support any politics in your church, you're gonna start paying us taxes. So that's how the community support dwindled to nothing because the church couldn't help us. And then they started picking us up on the street saying, why y'all not doing nothing for yourself? I said, well, you chased the man out of the home. He couldn't take care of his family. You took the trade schools out of our schools. We couldn't learn trades in school after forcing us out of our communities. And now you wouldn't give us jobs in your communities. So you forced us to survive. We're in survival mode. So he said, oh, okay. So we was doing petty crimes, cars and things like that, just to stay afloat. And he said, okay, they want a survivor. Let's try this drug we've been experimenting with. They knew that back in the day, we used drugs in ceremonies, so it's part of our culture. So he started importing drugs here in America. They did this in China. They called it the Opium Wars. So he knew drugs work on a population. Y'all like this story I'm going? Boy, I'm kind of tongue-tied right now. I'm going to continue it later. Because I live this. I'm not just talking about something I read. I live this, and I've studied and researched how we got where we are. Okay, so we're going to say adios for now, and we'll continue this another time. Give me your comments. Y'all want me to continue? Let me know what you thought about it. I may continue, I may not, depend on the demand for it.